Hello and welcome to Inside Modular, the podcast of commercial modular construction, brought to you by the Modular Building Institute. With a compact footprint, variety of unit options, and seamless system management, City Multi-Variable Refrigerant Flow Zoning Systems from Mitsubishi Electric Trane HVAC US are a one-stop solution for modular projects. With efficient operation and the ability to connect to commercial ventilation equipment, third-party systems, and comprehensive control solutions, City Multi-VRF can help you meet energy and performance goals on your next project. From off-site development to on-site assembly, you can trust our manufacturer-level support to guide you from system selection to design to startup, no matter the application. To learn more about our offerings, visit MitsubishiPro.com. Welcome everyone, my name is John McMullen and I'm the Marketing Director here at MBI. Today I'm talking with Mehmet Yucesoy, Business Development Manager at DORCE. Mehmet is here to talk about the challenges and opportunities of the commercial modular market in Europe and the Middle East. Mehmet, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much for your time and arrangement of this process for us.
So for those who aren't familiar, tell me more about DORCE itself. Where are you based and how did the company get started?
We're a company for more than 40 years old, and I will try to explain very briefly what is the stage at the moment for DORCE. I mean, our company, DORCE, is one of the first established and the leading companies based in Turkey on prefabricated modular steel structure manufacturing, exporting, and also including the contracting services. So at the moment, we are able to provide full turnkey services for prefabricated modular structures for more than 60 countries, including the production, logistics, assembly, infrastructure and superstructure works, testing and commissioning. So including also we are able to provide all the international quality standards. We build prefabricated modular steel and conventional structures with the support of our engineering and contracting capabilities.
So you mentioned that DORCE has been around for 40 years. That's very impressive. How has your company evolved in that time?
I think the legacy first of DORCE started track back to 1980s. I mean, in 1982, the company started with a small workshop operation based in the capital of Turkey, in Ankara, with the production of minor steel construction works, steel furnitures, and the company quickly evolved to become a key supplier of prefabricated steel structures as the Turkey's biggest construction and manufacturing company on the light gauge steel structures in the first 15 years. And with that, we have two different capabilities and the locomotive sectors. The first one is as the industrial manufacturer company, and the second one is the contracting identity. So with the combination of these two capabilities, after the 2000s, we became also one of the biggest contractors in the world, especially for the engineering, procurement, construction projects. After 2000s, our company manufacturing facility has reached a production facility, which has approximately 100,000 square meter total area, with 60,000 square meter closed workshop area.
Well, that's an amazing bit of growth. Very impressive. I've read that DORCE's manufacturing production capacity is one of the largest in Europe. Can you tell me more about your capacity and the capabilities that you have now?
Sure. So with the coming years, DORCE involved a lot in the oil and gas, mining, power plant, and petrochemical industries, especially in CIS region and Middle East. Then we're reaching out per month capacity as the biggest manufacturer of Europe on light gauge steel structures, approximately 160,000 square meter panelized prefabricated buildings, or 4,000 units of containers manufacturing capacity per month, or 2,000 tons of pre-engineered heavy steel structure capacity. So, which is right now the calculated basis, the largest capacity of Europe as our company based in Turkey.
Well, that's a huge amount of production. What challenges have you guys faced as such a large company?
Well, almost all of the projects of DORCE are special. We can easily say that. I mean, I mentioned about 4,000 container manufacturing capacity per month. So our projects are always very urgently, and you have to complete your projects on time and the highest quality and with the best reasonable prices. So that gives the success to DORCE, but also gives some challenges because we are working in defense industry. We completed approximately 100,000 people capacity military camps in Afghanistan, in Iraq, also aircraft and helicopter hangars in Djibouti and Somalia, in different parts of Africa. So all these projects have specific designs, and you have to comply with all the local regulations, all the quality standards, and especially for the oil and gas companies, we work with ExxonMobil, Eni, Shell, Petronas. I mean, from Malaysia to Middle East to South America, we complete our projects everywhere. So we're able to work from minus 50 degree to plus 50 degree areas, which means that you have to comply with all the quality regulations in the limited time in different geographies. And also you have to train the local workforce. So with a specific design team and R&D team, you have to overcome all these challenges in different countries. And apart from that, there's another aspect. You have to. This is an organization job, not only a manufacturing or not only construction. It's also a combination of engineering capabilities because we complete different projects in different fields. So these are the main challenges that we face, but we always overcome these obstacles, and also we go to success with these lines together with the support of engineering capabilities.
Well, again, it's just very impressive. And I guess I was not surprised to read that Engineering News Record, ENR, has listed your company as one of the top 250 contractors globally, which is very impressive. Congratulations. What can you tell me about your contracting capabilities?
Well, thank you very much, John. I mean, we're listed one of the top 250 contractors for the past decade. I mean, DORCE, as mentioned, is the leading manufacturer of Europe on this light gauge steel structure manufacturing. But apart from that, we are also listed in as a contractor in the top 250. The main background of this this ratings is that we are also a pure contracting company. I mean, we have right now, actually, I can give you an example for that. We have two ongoing projects in Iraq. Those are pure concrete projects. The one is 400 plus 46 VIP bed capacity, 15-story concrete, I mean, general conventional method construction applied, university training hospital, so which is the largest building of Basra, the Basra region of Iraq, and which has a helicopter pit on top of it. And apart from that, we have another ongoing project, which is almost finished right now, 1,400 housing project in Basra region of Iraq. And apart from that, these projects are fully completed, full turnkey with the DORCE's manpower, DORCE's equipment, with the locally registered companies. And we complete many conventional system embassy buildings in different parts of the world. But these are the pure contracting capabilities. Apart from that, our contracting ratings, generally the revenues come from major oil and gas projects. So which means that we have an ongoing project in Mozambique right now for 10,000 people labor accommodation facility, or we finished 100,000 people capacity refugee camp facilities in Middle East and Turkey also. So in order to complete this project on turnkey basis, the manufacturing is not only enough. You need to finish all the city's infrastructure. So these are the main contracting capabilities where the contracting ratings come from for DORCE.
Wow, you guys are busy. So you guys are all over the world doing all these different projects. I want to turn our attention to modular construction here for a second. In general, what can you tell me about the market for commercial modular construction in the Middle East and Africa? Is it an emerging market? Is modular widely used there? What can you tell me?
Well, it's totally depend on the sectors and the country also. So some of the countries in Middle East and CIS region are in development stage, and they have to finish not only Middle East, also Africa I'm talking, they have to finish the projects very quickly. So as you know that the main reason is the completion. For example, in Gabon, we have finished 600 housing projects within 6 months period because the government wants to succeed something very quickly, and they want to give the housing units and the modular housing structures to people immediately. So it took, let's say, 6 months period to complete 600 housing units. Or in Oman, in Middle East, there was an industrial area the people know in Middle East actually, which is called Dokum Zone, and they have to finish a hotel project within 150 days.
Wow.
So DORCE was the solution provider for that, for a 3-star hotel project, full turnkey with a modular construction prefabricated system. So we manufactured the units ready and transported to the site location immediately, and the project finished in 160 days. So it's totally time and the money. These are the two most important aspects. And coming to your question, the Middle East and Africa, these are the emerging markets. And the modular, I think the modular systems already started to use for the past 10 years, and the number of, especially for the housing units, for oil and gas, for the mining, the number of the projects increasing day by day. And as you know that in Saudi Arabia, there is a huge project called the Neom City project. So they're going to use the prefabricated modular systems, and also let's say for the mining and for oil and gas, especially in Qatar, in United Arab Emirates, you have to finish the projects immediately on time. And those has to have the regulations much better than the general conventional systems. For example, in United Arab Emirates, we have finished a 26,000 people capacity labor residential city project for the superstructure within a 1-year time period. So the time was very important because the area was rented for the investors for 30 years. And they gave a timeline for the completion of the project for 1 year. So in conventional system, you can finish the project within 3.5 years. But when you finish with the modular construction system, which means that you finish the construction 1 year and you gain 3.5 years, and you rent the laborers 2.5 years, and you make much more money.
Oh, yeah.
So depending, yeah, I mean, it's not only for the commercial, it's not only for the housing, it's not only for the defense sector. A lot of projects are coming up in Middle East, in Africa, and these are the development. Some parts of the countries are development, some parts like UAE, Qatar, they already go up to some point. So all the modular containers, temporary emergency facilities for refugees, immigrants, for Syria, I mean, etc. The modular construction is everywhere in these parts of the in this part, and it's very important and developing very quickly.
So you touched on a lot of the benefits of modular construction all over the world, really. How would you say, in your experience, how does the market for modular construction in the Middle East and Africa compare to the North American market?
Modular construction has been very actively used in North Africa, in Canada, in United States, let's say, I mean, especially in California, when we look at for the earthquake areas, the steel structure and the modular systems taken part a lot. But also right now in Turkey, let's say, since our company is based in Turkey, I want to give an example for one of our ongoing projects. After the earthquake, the city called Malatya and Elazığ, we have been almost come to a point with a completion of 1,500 units of housing projects as the government program with the prefabricated modular systems. These are the villages in the top of the mountains, in the middle of the city, everywhere. Very quickly finished projects, and also comparing it to the North American market in the Middle East and Africa, fire resistance and earthquake, these are very important. So which means that especially for the commercial modular systems for the housing units and the shopping malls, the number is increasing. Very, very high numbers we came up to with the modular system. And of course, I think there are 506,000 units, detached houses in California. Of course, it's not very popular like that. but it's very important, especially for the big cities like Doha and Istanbul, because the modular system and prefabricated system is much more shorter construction time. Safety and security is much more higher. Climate conditions are much more better. I mean, and also it's very eco-friendly. And the traffic, when it comes to very high population cities, traffic is a very important issue for the construction. So you finish the project immediately. So these are very important points. And comparing to the North America, the numbers are increasing, especially for the past 10 years.
So what market trends have you noticed over the past few years? Where do you see the global industry headed?
I think it's not. This is a very good question, I guess, because right now this modular building systems are changing with the support of the technology, and we have a motto for DORCE. What we say. DORCE is the Turkey's world brand, global brand in modular buildings, where the construction evolves with the technology. So we industrialize the general conventional system. So this is where we're going to be heading up for the global industry, is that, let's say, fire resistance is a must for the oil and gas and mining industry at the moment for up to 3 hours. So this is the only way that you can go with the steel. And lower carbon footprints, and also the steel is the ultimate green material, especially for the recycling. You can use whenever you want, and up to 2 or 3 different recycling methods. You can use this model for 100 years. Those are very safe. Also, the production is under control. It's very important for funding companies. Let's say if you're a funding company, you need to check all the details, so you can check on the manufacturing facility and complete the project without any obstacle. And the modular is more used for the portable and demountable and rebuildable structures, so which means that you can move the structures one point to another. And also, the modular system is very important for the emergency response after the disasters. So I think the world is going to go, I think, in the following 10 years, almost in every country, the modular construction, I mean the MMC, modular methods of construction, going to be applied. And the companies in the United States or companies in Turkey or in Middle East, they are going to be growing up a lot with the support of this technology.
I think you're absolutely right. And speaking of some of the other countries where you operate, I was wondering if you could give me some current projects in Africa or the Middle East or the CIS countries where you operate. Can you give me an example specifically of one of the R&D related design solutions that you've put in place?
Sure. R&D is applied in any project that the DORCE executes, because we have a very developed team. We have 75 architects at the moment, engineers and technicians and drafters, and we work as a team for each project specifically for tailor-made. What I'm saying is that we have an ongoing project, as mentioned, in Mozambique right now for the Mozambique LNG. And we designed the project step by step, the manufacturing totally accordingly with the manufacturing items, and without any problem, project execution process is going on. But I have another example right now. We just finished a project in Qatar, I think, which might be the largest capacity for the COVID quarantine hospitals. We finished a project in Qatar for 4,000 people, quarantine hospital. Wow. And coming up to an R&D related, these are I think, also we have ongoing housing projects at the moment in Africa, in CIS region. But for the R&D related design solutions, I can come up with a very interesting example. Because we have a 40 years know-how with the use of the new generation materials and construction technologies for the sustainable innovation. As an example, we just finished for the NATO a helicopter portable containers, which is the abbreviation of the abbreviation is the HPC. This is for the modular structures. You have a container. You can imagine a container which combines the 3 package. three packages, and each package is approximately 300 kilograms. So you put these three packages on the top of the pickups or the helicopters, and you put them on the top of the operation field, the mountain or anywhere, and which has an arrangeable legs, and two soldiers can make the installation without using any hand tool. So at the end, when you finish the model, without using any hand tool, by their hands, you can have an accommodation model for 8 soldiers. You can have the WC units, or you can have shower units or clinics, and etc. So when we start this for the defense sector, after we noticed that, we received the requirements actually from the different sectors, from NGOs, from United Nations. They really like the installation without using any hand tool, and it's very light structures. So United Nations already requested from us for Bangladesh, for different parts of the world, these modular units, and these are also requested from drilling companies for oil and gas and from mining. So when you use the R&D, it was first started to carry out with the Sikorsky helicopters to the operation fields. Now we're develop these units to different parts for different sectors, and we're sending thousands of them to different parts of the world.
I love that. I love that idea. I'd love to see some pictures. If you can share any, or a case study or anything like that, that would be really cool to share. I think lots of people would be interested in that kind of a project.
Sure, I will send you, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. What has made DORCE so successful as a global business over these 40 years? And I guess more specifically, what advice would you give to companies that are trying to become more globalized?
Well, as mentioned, we started 40 years ago, and manufacturing, we pushed ourselves to be very successful in the manufacturing. I mean, our factory is a very huge factory. I mean, anyone would like to see our factory, they can come to Turkey and see the factory, no problem. But it's in the center of the industrial hub. So when we request any material, we don't need to storage them in the factory. So we can just buy, or we can just manage the supply chain from the neighboring factories. So it's very important to be centralized in the industrial hub. Mm-hmm. So it's the success from our manufacturing facilities are coming for that. And we were lucky to be, we were very lucky to be have the company in Turkey, because it's very easy to transport the materials from Turkey to the ports from Mersin and Istanbul or Antalya, no problem, to Africa, from CIS to CIS region or Europe. So we are able to transport them everywhere in the world. I mean, as an example, we finished a project in Australia for the housing units, because comparatively to Turkey's labor costs and the material costs and the currency changes, the housing units were very expensive to finish them in Australia. So we manufactured the units and transported to Australia. Or we completed hospital projects in Venezuela. So we manufactured them, and it was very cheap to send them comparatively to our prices to the other companies in the area. To complete the project in Chile, the hospital projects were very cheap. So the location was another advantage. And experienced workforce and the training of the workforce, these are very important. And the most importantly, for the globalized companies to become more globalized, you need to check all the details of the localization and the local regulations of the country that you are going to make export and contracting activities. So we always go to the country that we are going to export. We complete the full feasibility studies. We spend time over there. We meet with the local and government authorities. We study the regulations. We always work with the professional law companies over there. And also we check with the full details for the cultural dynamics, and the cultural feasibility study have to be full. You need to be fully ready for these aspects. And you need to finish strong market research. You need to know all the details for the customs and tax details. And most importantly, we created very successful joint ventures and partnerships with the local companies. Then you train the local workforce. When you work with the local companies, you always finish your project on time. You always deliver your projects on time. And with the successful work completion certificates, if you are very successful also on the HSE and quality regulations, I mean, there are many different points to be successful in the global market. But these are the main points which come to my mind at the moment. So these are very important, and with the achievement of these points, then you can be a very successful company on the global market.
Well, thank you. That was great. So, Mehmet, tell me about DORCE's plans for North America. Are you guys looking to expand over here? Do you have relationships with companies over here? Tell me about that.
John, thank you for this question. DORCE, actually, we have been working with the companies from North America for more than 25, actually for 30 years. In Mauritania, we finished a project with the Kinross Gold from Canada for a gold mining company for 10,000 people, labor camp. Also, we have been actively taking part for the projects of NATO for 20 years, and we have been working with KBR and U.S. Army for NATO also, again, in different parts, and we finished a lot of projects for FLOR. And we finished a lot of projects for United States government, especially in Algeria. We finished the embassy structures. Also for United Nations, we finished a lot of projects. In Ghana, we finished projects with Bechtel for 600 housing projects. And we are very much familiar with the support of these references, ASME and other United States standards. Therefore, for the past couple of years, United States and Canada and the entire North Africa is an interesting market for DORCE company. So we're planning to register a company. We are very much open to create new partnerships with the companies from United States, from Canada, in different fields, especially in the construction. We would like to share our know-how, and we would like to learn more about the standards from them. So we are very much open for the North American market, And also, we are interested to meet with the funds from North America to work with them for our projects, interesting projects in the third world countries. Since we are very active in the other countries, we have been receiving hundreds of projects, very specific and very nice projects, especially for the housing units, for the mining, for oil and gas, for the modular construction. So it will be also very interesting for DORCE to meet with the funding companies and the companies who have finance to open to create new opportunities and open to work with the partnerships with DORCE. So this will be great for us.
Well, that's great to hear. And we were talking before about World of Modular, and we're planning to be back in Texas next year, so I hope to see you there.
Sure. We previously participated to the exhibition, and we took a booth over there, and it was an amazing event. I met with a lot of people over there from the modular construction industry. I would be very glad to participate to the event once again and come to Texas to see you, to meet with you, and also to see other participants.
What's next for DORCE? What can you tell me about your upcoming projects?
Well, our sector, I think, for my personal idea, is the best sector because right now there's the COVID-19 situation going on, unfortunately, as it's affecting everybody, all the governments. All the oil and gas, major projects, major EPC projects already stopped. So we noticed that there is an emerging market at the moment for that, and we supplied 25 different countries the superstructure of the COVID-19 hospitals. In intensive care units, mobile hospitals, clinics. But before the COVID, also we were able to, in the conflict areas, we were able to complete military camps because it was an urgent need to finish the military camps to protect the NATO-related countries. But apart from that, there is migration. So this sector is always booming. This is what I'm trying to explain for the question, because I think after this, most probably the economy will get much better. So right now we're building a lot of refugee camps, but after this process, we don't need to build military camps or refugee camps or COVID-19 hospitals. There are most probably major oil and gas and mining projects going to be starting, and the government's going to be revising up their economical budgets with the macroeconomic dynamics. So which means that the government's going to start their housing programs. There are thousands of housing units required right now for Africa, for also United States, for Turkey, for South America, everywhere in the world. Which I believe that housing projects, school projects, education projects for prefabricated modular systems going to be booming, and we are going to be taking part for these kind of projects, and we're going to be taking part, I believe, for major LNG and renewable energy camp projects.
Well, that's just an amazing amount of work. I want to thank you, Mehmet, for your time today. I know people here in North America tend to think of modular construction as, relocatable buildings at construction sites and housing and that type of thing, but you've given some great examples of how modular construction can be used really in any different type of industry. So I really appreciate your time today. It was great to get your global perspective. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, John. Thank you.
My name is John McMullen, and this has been another episode of Inside Modular, the podcast of commercial modular construction. Until next time.